Welcome to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program.
Raw and uncut, Jiggy Jag, you know how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it all the way live.
Broadcasting live from Hutchinson, Kansas.
Well, I'm sitting here with a linguist. I had no idea. I didn't know you were, but I didn't know that you were a wordsmith.
Call Jiggy right now. 267-22-JIGGY.
Daddy fun.
Hey, Jiggy, what's happening, man? Reminds me of that David Bowie song. Jiggy play guitar. It's a great name, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Presenting.
I'm Mike Massey, and you can catch me on Jiggy Jag TV and see a few of my trick shots there. Thank you very much.
Jiggy Jaguar.
I never knew what freedom was until I saw you lose yours.
Look at that. It is iHeartRadio. It is AM/FM, 247.com. Tune in, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, all that stuff. It is the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. Today, live as live can get each and every Sunday. Yes, it is Sunday. Oh, it's a hell of a deal, kids. We're going to get to Stephen Perry here in a few moments. He's holding on Skype audio. We'll get to him here in just a few seconds. If you want to get a hold of us on iHeartRadio, download the iHeartRadio app and search JIGGY-JAGUAR. And we go to Skype, and Stephen Perry is with us. Stephen, how are you, sir?
Yes, sir, James. Doing great today.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Well, let's see. I'm over here in New Jersey. I'm 46 years old, married, 2 young daughters at home. So in a home with 3 females. So I have a little bit of hair left on my head. So I'm doing all right so far.
Stephen Perry with us today on our big broadcast. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio and AM/FM 247.com. And tell us a little bit about the program and everything that you do.
As far as the Cuddy D Show, James, I started up on public access TV about 10 years ago, pretty much as a hobby and something fun to do. I've always been a big fan of talk shows, either on radio or television. Big Jon Stewart, Bill Maher, David Letterman, Jay Leno fan. So I figured, let me just dabble into it myself. So I did some research, started doing the show actually in my basement studio with my brother and a friend of mine from high school. And on public access TV, it actually started to build up an audience over here, believe it or not. So I tried to, so the past few years, 4 or 5 years, tried to take it to the next level, introduce some 2 female voices to the show, and try to bring a little bit of the female perspective into our topics being discussed. We've been having fun with it for the past 10 years, about 10 years now. And so we actually just created our own 10-minute trailer on our website of the show, Cuddy D Show. And we're just having real fun with it, James. We're having a great time. Our fans really enjoy our show on a weekly basis. They email us all the time. And we're having real fun with it, James. And I appreciate you having us on your show today to help get the word out.
We've got Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show. Check out thecuddydshow.com. That's TheCuddyDSHOW.com. And he joins us live today here on our program. Now, what exactly do you guys cover? Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, James, I like to say we cover everything from A through double Z, meaning a lot of times we bring up some topics that you don't normally hear. I try to bring up some things in there that puts us above and beyond everyone else, but I like to say that a Cuddy D Show is a stimulating talk show, James, where we discuss top news stories of the day, pop culture, your politics, your recent studies, statistics, sports, news, celebrity, entertainment news. All along, we try to input our own humorous topics on the topics being discussed. We try to input our own humorous slants because I really feel a lot of people don't smile, we don't laugh enough. We try to make it funny, and I think that's why a lot of people can relate to us in our topics, James, because we tell it like it is in our topics. I like to say we're a no holds barred, tell it like it is show, where the people at home can feel that we become their voice. I mean, a lot of people at home, they don't have the platform that you and I have, so we say the things for them. I mean, we kind of like to bring about their their topics and thoughts and opinions at home, and we try to represent people at home, and that's what we've really been successful at. And as far as our emails we hear from our audience members, that's what we try to do as far as bring the topics and make them feel like they're really a part of the show, and we represent them, and we try to do that. And so far, things have been going great, James.
We've got Steve Perry with us today. He joins us live here on Skype Audio, here on the big broadcast, iHeartRadio and AMFM247.com, and also download the Jiggy Jaguar app, available in both the app stores, or go to jiggyjaguar.us and watch us live right now, talking with Steve on Skype Audio. And the Cuddy D Show, first aired in 2006, was filmed in a basement studio. Tell me a little bit about your setup that you guys had then.
Well, it's about as basic as it gets, James. So I figured, as far as I didn't really have the money to rent a professional studio with the staff and the equipment and stuff like that, so I figured, you know what? I just went out there and just went basic 101, got my camcorder, and as far as started filming it, and as far as put up my, as far as the name of my show and printed them out, my letters online, and basically just filmed it there, James, and converted it over to DVD and 30-minute shows, and basically I just delivered my DVDs on a weekly basis to the local cable public access stations over here, and they basically just played my show every week, and they still are playing my shows every week. So basically I just set aside about a little 10 by 15 space down in my basement, and did as much as I could to make it look pretty and enticing to my viewers watching the show on public access TV. And I pretty much did all the production end as far as myself, as far as transferring to DVDs and from VHS and all that. Remember that thing, a little thing called VHS back in the day?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But no, that's how it all started, James. And since then, I actually reached out to our local cable news outlet over here in New Jersey, and they actually gave us free use of their studio over here, so to start doing our show. So it's kind of small, and a lot of their equipment is kind of antiquated, but I figured, you know what, James, it gets us out of my basement, and it gives us kind of like a springboard to perhaps take the Cuddy D Show to the next level. And I was able to bring on board a whole staff of my own to help come in with their own creativity and production expertise and experience to bring the Cuddy D Show to the next level as far as production-wise and audio and visual and things like that, and actually work with some cameras that are actually up to our new age era of today. So that's where we're at right now, James. I mean, we're having fun with it, and like I said, everyone, you can go to our website and check out our 10-minute trailer that we're promoting right now. We're really happy and excited about that.
We've got Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio and AMFM247.com. Tell us about websites, social media, all this, so people can get a hold of you guys.
Well, of course, as far as our website, like you said before, James, thecuddydshow.com. Also, you can find us at the Cuddy D Show, our Twitter online account, and you can also check us out. We do have our own channel on YouTube, also, and then we also on Facebook.com/the Cuddy D Show. So we do have our website. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and also I just have to mention our publicist just came on board with us. His name is Josh Mitchell from Wicked Pissa Publicity, and he's doing a great job as far as getting the Cuddy D Show, the name out there, and he's really getting it out there on the East Coast, West Coast, Intercoast, all around the United States and around the world. So now our publicist, Josh, he's really helping us out to get us out there, and hopefully we're to mass. We're trying to get to the masses now, James, so with your help, we're getting there.
We've got Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio and AMFM247.com. Now, what's been the response online and from social media to the show itself?
It's been fantastic, James. It's really taken off. It's being awesome. So it's like everything, all of our fans have been emailing us all the time, and a couple of my favorite emails that I've been receiving, it's the best ones have been saying that our show is new, it's trendy, and we're real, of course. And my favorite one is our fans have been saying it's like a breath of fresh air. I guess meaning because as far as our show, James, I'm happy to say that none of our show is scripted. No one tells us what to say, how to say it, when to say it. So it's like we are the total package where we take full advantage of the amendment, giving us all the freedom of speech. We say what's on our minds, what's in our hearts, and we don't hold back, James. I mean, like I said, we say the things on the Cuddy D that people at home are thinking in their minds, but don't say. So we become their voice. So all of our emails have been actually people thanking us for coming out and saying the things because we hold people accountable, James, and we really don't, bottom line is we really don't care who or what we offend. People nowadays, we all need to be accountable for our own actions. And that's what we do here on the Cuddy D Show. I mean, we expose you. So, I mean, we don't sugarcoat anything. And that's why a lot of people are so boring. It's boring with the show, certain shows out there where it's the same old thing. I mean, it's always a negativity, this and that. It's like we try to expose the negativity, but we dissect it and we bring the positive out. We try to just become a positive influence. So that's pretty much the response we've been hearing from social media, James. They like our show because we're not celebrities. We're not superstars. Hopefully one day we'll get to that point, but that's why I feel people can relate to us, because we're just four regular, ordinary people working hard, full-time jobs during the day, trying to support our families and our livelihood and things like that. And that's why I think they can relate to us, James. And that's the emails we've been receiving on social media, because we're regular people. We're regular people, and we're not afraid to say what we think in our minds. And that's a response we've been getting, James.
We've got Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio, AMFM247.com, and of course tune in. And he joins us live today talking about the big program. Now, this idea, where exactly did the whole thing come from?
Well, I would say, back about 10 years ago, I would say, as far as, like I said, aside from being just a fan, as far as, talk show hosting, as far as radio, television, I would say back in the day, I would say Jon Stewart and Dave Chappelle. I would say I got to give those guys credit for really bringing me to the point where in my mind, my passion and my desire grew, because I think those guys went above and beyond and taking it to the edge to really keep it real and bring real news out there, and but in a funny way, because we don't want to just bring news out there and just bash people. I mean, we want to make it funny, because we want to make people laugh as well. So it's like, so that's where like my burning desire and passion to be a talk show host and for the platform, what we do, as far as it was similar to Daily Show with Jon Stewart when he had his show, Dave Chappelle. I mean, it's like, I just think there is a way to get into people's minds while invoking humor into the subject matter, because you make them think about it, but then you also make them laugh about it too. If you can incorporate that into your subject matter, where you make people think, and then you make it funny in the same note, it kind of sheds a different light on it, and it kind of smooths things out a little bit more. So I give those guys credit for what I do and what the Cuddy D Show is all about, and that's where it stems from, James. And as far as keeping it real, I mean, I'm of the older generation, so it's like, I'm sick and tired of certain talk news nowadays where bottom line is, it's like you basically know what angle they're going at. They're reading from a teleprompter. Anybody can read from a teleprompter. We don't have a teleprompter. So it's like, it's all about keeping it real, James. And the Cuddy D Show is the ultimate show where we keep it real. And that's the bottom line, Jay. Keeping it real, nothing less. That's the bottom line.
We've got Steve Perry with us today. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio and AMFM247.com. The Cuddy D Show. Cuddy D Show is live online and on television across the country and around the world. And putting the show into public access stations. Tell me about that process and how you've been able to kind of just spread that across the country and around the world.
Well, as far as there's an approval process, James, where pretty much anyone can. Well, I'm not going to say anyone, but as far as it's an interview process, as far as your show format and what your show entails and involves and things like that, and of course there's certain things you can and can't do and you cannot say on the show. So as far as it's a whole interview process, we're actually on 2 cable networks over here in New Jersey. Those being Cablevision and Comcast. So there's an interview process as far as you have to be approved as far as your format and your content that you present on your show. So of course with my talk show, it was approved as far as the topics that we discussed and things like that. But we have to pretty much watch what we say on public access TV. So it is kind of funny, but on public access TV, actually, we did get kicked off public access TV for a few weeks there, James, but we actually were brought back on. So it was a funny story if you wanted to hear that one. But in public access TV, it's a middle process. You submit your idea and your show content, and as long as it gets approved, James, I mean, as long as they have the time frame and time slot available, it really isn't a difficult process for everyone out there to investigate and research and put your show on public access TV. That's how I started, and you never know. I mean, shows can make it big on public access TV, so it's really not a difficult process. You just have to contact your local cable access provider and discuss with them the details and the application process to have your show air on public access TV in wherever city, town, and state and where you live. And as far as public access TV, with all these social media outlets, people from all around the world can access our show on public access TV in New Jersey and anywhere else where you might be.
We've got Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show, and a couple questions. One, I want you to tell the story about you guys getting kicked off access, because we have a local access station here in Salina, Kansas that I was a part of for several years, and we criticized a lot of people and talked a lot of shit, and eventually they booted me, but I was able to come back, and what's great is I've come back so far that I'm on their board of directors now. So in a way, I'm kind of like the boss of the ED, which is kind of funny. But I want you to tell that story. But before you do that, there's been a lot of debate around the country with YouTube and social media, and anybody can just go live on Facebook and things like that. There's been a lot of debate about is there really a need for public access television anymore? Where do you come down on something like that?
Well, I feel because public access was pretty much a springboard for me, and actually we still air on public access TV, I feel it's a beautiful thing. I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's a start off point. And when we first started on my YouTube channel, for me it was actually difficult because I'm not going to say I'm 100% computer literate, but it was actually difficult on YouTube as far as I had trouble putting my entire 30-minute show on YouTube. I was only able to air my show in 15-minute segments. Perhaps that's different now. I'm hearing as far as you're completely correct on that, because I remember when we started Jiggy Jag TV, we only were able to use. You can only put 15-minute segments up, and so a lot of our interviews and things like that, we had to keep that shit short. But now you got people that are uploading 3-hour shows to YouTube, which I still don't understand how anybody could have any type of time span or anything to be able to listen to or watch a 3-hour YouTube show. But yeah, you're correct. Totally, it was 15-minute segments, and people were just either stuck with that or they were cut off, basically. Yeah, I agree, and that's the reason why that's great and all that they've they've changed with the times, and you can air a 3-hour show on YouTube. I mean, that's fantastic. It's a good way to get your show out there. But like I said, I mean, it's like I'm old school. You know, I'm big on tradition and things like that. And public access TV, as long as local cable networks out there don't do away with it, I think it's fantastic. It's great to do. It's even if you just want something to do, just to get it out there, and you could just do it as a hobby, and maybe once a week get around with all of your family and friends, and to see yourself on TV. It's something cool to do. I think it's a beautiful thing. I love it. It's working for the Cuddy D Show, and I think it's great. I mean, obviously, you're not going to reach the masses like a Facebook does, like a YouTube does, and Twitter and all of those things. I mean, there's certain things that, you know, you can get out there to the masses, but, you know, I hope public access stays around forever. It's fantastic. But it's where the Cuddy D Show, like I said, got our start, and we're still there now. So, and it's an easy thing to do. I mean, you can do it. You put your half-hour show on there. It's something fun to do. And everyone of different ages and nationalities and ethnicities, it's something fun and great to do as far as starting off. And if you want to just keep it there, you can have your show on public access TV your whole life. I mean, it's fantastic. But that's, I agree. I hope it's here to stay. But as far as trying to take the show to the next level where the Cuddy D Show is, you know, as far as social media, that's where we're at as well. The YouTube, the Facebook, and the Twitter, and all that good stuff too, James.
We've got Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio and AMFM 247.com. He also joins us here on Ustream as well, and joins us live today talking about the Cuddy D Show. Now, tell me about some of the prep and research and things that go into producing something like this. Stephen Perry with us today. To tell me about the research and the prep that it takes to produce this show.
Well, you know, James, I would like to say that I pretty much do all the research, pretty much 99.9% of it. So I love writing, and I love doing my research. As far as as far as my content, James, I mean, as far as I read about 3 or 4 newspapers a day. I'm an internet junkie. As far as, and then I get some of my research online and things like that. And a lot of our content, we have a lot of fun talking about recent studies and recent statistics and things like that. So, and I like to say a lot of times when we present our topics, James, I think we do a great job of creating a show within the show, meaning that whatever topic I present, and once we start going into our tangents, as far as our own personal views on subjects and things like that, I think a lot of times that's where we grab our audience, because it's like when we start to input our own personal feelings and our own personal experiences of our lives on that subject we're speaking of, I think that's really our main hook where we get to people, where they relate to us. So, but as far as the research and as far as the writing and things like that and topics, you know, I'm proud to say that I love it. That's where my passion and my desire is, James. And I try to bring in, of course, you know, the topical news of the day. I mean, everybody's talking about it, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I try to bring in topics that hopefully that you won't hear on other shows and make it interesting and controversial and funny and things like that. So I really think that I'd like to bring in topics that I really just think that people out there want to hear, that they don't normally hear other places and different outlets and things like that. So I just try to bring forth topics where people, of course, the hot topics of the day, with a little sprinkle of other topics that other people that I just hopefully will feel that are comical, they're controversial, and they can relate to, and they'll enjoy hearing. So I try to keep it fun, interesting, you know, and different. It just, everybody likes to be different. So I'm always striving to be different and set the Cuddy D Show apart from all the rest.
We've got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on iHeartRadio and AMFM 247.com. Stephen Perry with us today from the Cuddy D Show. And before we let you go, my friend, tell us about this story about you guys getting booted from Access and then being able to come back. Tell us about it.
That was a good one, James. Let's see, probably about 4 years in, And as far as you never know as far as what type of curse words that you can use and things like that. So we figured, my brother Jim, actually, we call him J-Dog on the show, but we were actually talking, and of course, one of his what topics we were discussing, and he happened to say he happened to call someone a dumbass. So the word ass actually got us kicked off because I think a woman about maybe 75 years old called into the Comcast network and complained that we said the word ass on public access TV.
Yes, that's hilarious.
So, of course, the next day I get a phone call from the program director, and she said, "Oh, well, no, you're kicked off for 3 weeks," and stuff like that. So to make a long story short on that one, James, so we got kicked off public access TV for saying the word ass, but after that, I actually had to kiss ass to get back on.
Amazing stuff. We've got Stephen Perry with us today, and I'll tell you that is the way that it happens at public access stations. Is it's the 75-year-old woman in the middle of the night who just happens to see the show. So you're completely you're completely correct on that whole thing, brother. Well, before we let you go, how do we get a hold of you online, social media, watch the show, everything?
Alrighty, James, I like to say www.thecuddydshow.com, and then we got our Facebook, facebook.com/The Cuddy D Show, and also you can check out we have the Cuddy D Show channel on YouTube, I'm proud to say, and also those 3 social media sites right there, and please, any one of those 3 websites there you can check out. Please check out our new 10-minute trailer that we just created of the Cuddy D Show, and that gives you a little taste of what the Cuddy D Show brings on a weekly basis, and I guarantee you'll love the show. And if you, like I always say, James, at the end of all of our shows, if you ain't real, then you're nothing. And that's what I like to say, James, about the Cuddy D Show.
Fantastic. Well, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you very much, James.
Appreciate it, brother. We'll talk soon. Stephen Perry with us today on the old Skype audio, and get a hold of us on the Facebook. Oh, the Facebook. I got somebody named The Badass had a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to them, I guess, on Skype. That's the Cuddy D Show. We're going to take a break, and we will be back right now. It's Denny Van Transtick, and it's on AMFM247.com and iHeartRadio.